All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dr. Stone, Season 1, Episode 14.
All right, has defeated Magma.
Yes, and the grand bout has officially begun. We already have our first winner here in terms of their bracket. And now we're going to have to go through all the rest of the fights, which they could be quite interesting to see how it all plays out. We have our predictions from the previous episode. They will probably change over the course of time, unless it all just ends here. But I'm really curious to see, like,
it should be straightforward, but there's room for it to be very complicated.
Right, exactly, because we've already defeated Magma, so we don't have to deal with the problem of like, well, wait, which of us from the science, nation is going to be getting this? But wait, maybe there's a dark horse that's not from them that's going to be coming out of this.
Or maybe there's some deeper conflicts between them that must be resolved on the field of battle.
Tournament Arc! Why not? Why not? And the main reason is because we've got the majority of the stuff for the cure-all drug. But there's a couple things we need to get, like alcohol.
Indeed. Booze is very important.
Booze is very important. And then once we get that, it should be very fast.
That's right.
Bit. So basically, this is the tournament arc for Ruri to save the princess, if you will.
Indeed.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right, we got ourselves a tournament arc.
That's right.
And we had our expectations subverted twice in this episode. By having it be a thing of where, no, Magma was not defeated. The rules were kind of broken. And of course, Ginro is not about, or was that Kinro? Kinro is like not about the rules being broken.
Exactly. So he goes to check, and then he uses that as a way to, in a dastardly move, take him out of the fight. And then, of course, I can't believe I didn't think of this, but if it's a time issue, and Kohaku isn't back yet, the smart thing to do would be, lose. Just lose. Give up. I'm going to be fighting whoever you beat, whoever beats you anyways, and I'm going to beat them. But, we don't want Kohaku to be here. And the idea that it was like, she was just barely too late, it's too bad.
But then we come up all the way where the big fight is actually not going to be about the final fight. It's the fact that Chrome gets his moment of basically being the badass. He gets to display his manliness in intelligence, grit, strength, just ability to think creatively and critically. He basically was put on full display here as a character for not just us, but for Ruri. I mean, if Ruri's not somewhat attracted to him, like after he comes out of this scarred, beaten up, bloodied, or what have you.
Especially when they were childhood friends and everything, and like...
But like, I just think
that was pretty cool.
It's exciting.
That was really cool. The whole thing of using the lens to try and set him on fire, but then, oh wait, no, it's not actually, like, Senku's like, that doesn't work, it's not that kind of lens, and he's like,
But I knew that.
But the water from my sweat will form a bubble that will be enough for it to change it between the concave and convex. I forget which is which, so I'm not going to say which was what.
Yeah, but it was convex, so they need to make it
right, because concave is in, so they need to... Wait.
No, it's concave. Concave is the one they needed it to be. Oh, no. They need to make it convex.
Right. Yeah, because concave is
Right, that makes sense.
Right, but the idea that that's what it is, and so he has to hold like perfectly still, and then
Asagiri again. I loved what they did here.
Oh man,
with Gen, yes,
that was God, wonderful. Oh my God.
The sorcerer is too strong.
I'll only be able to hold this up for a minute.
Seconds. What if he was like such a meat brain? He's like, what's a second? Right. Damn it.
Oh man, like, because that really is the thing. It's not just that Chrome had to stay perfectly still, it's that Magma also has to stay perfectly still, which is like, how the hell are you going to do that?
And how are you going to interfere in such a way that wouldn't make him angry at you so that he then moves?
Oh my God.
Asagiri again played him so hard. And I love it because it feels like the most just ridiculous kind of
contrived, stupid, impractical, wouldn't actually work.
But the
there
kind
you
of,
go.
But the kind of thing your whack party of of players would come up with to be like, but if you move, your heart will explode. But the sorcery, please do something. Chrome. Oh no! Well, stars can't do it. Not today.
Not today. although I will say, the whole thing of him being like, "Oh yeah, I just came back to life with my sorcery," like that would be so terrifying.
Right.
As someone where just science is sorcery, and then it's like, no, I killed this guy. I stabbed him in the chest and I let him bleed out. He is dead.
What if?
How the hell is he back here?
Right.
And you already knew that he had done sorcery tricks like the flowers and everything, right?
Right.
So the idea that
this is what I thought they were gonna do. Was that Asagura again was gonna have told Kohaku and all of them and stuff like that don't acknowledge the guy up there. Just whatever you do, pretend like he doesn't exist. And we'll pay you really good ramen afterwards.
Oh, nice.
And then he's all like, what? How do you go up there? And then everyone's like, wait, who are you talking about?
Although they would have had to get the refs on that. They would have had to get everybody. No, but that would have been so awesome to pull a Macbeth. So
yeah, it's just the thing of, no. And then he runs out of the ring. And then you still have him undefeated, but that they use, I guess if anything, they wanted to have it to be a thing where Chrome's plan still worked.
Yes.
That's still something that you want to do
and that was great. Yep.
For the most emotional satisfaction. Yep. Otherwise, it would have been more Gen's victory than Chrome's.
Right.
Which makes sense. Okay, so Chrome and Senku are going to face each other.
Right. Assuming that Ginro doesn't have a speedy recovery that makes him able to beat Senku. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
However, I see some potential interesting stuff there with Chrome and Senku being the ones at the end. Because here's something that I find rather interesting. Is that if they're rigging this, they could do the whole thing of boom, oh no, and then it falls over. But what if Chrome realizes that's not right? There's more at stake here than just, us getting the alcohol.
Right.
Senku, I don't want you to hold back. Fight me as if you needed to. If you needed to 100%. And then Senku's like, are you sure? And then it's actually a really hard-fought fight. And at the end, it's not necessarily that, Chrome wins. Like, Senku could win. Like, I would really love to see an opportunity for them to actually have to fight. Because otherwise, they're just going to end up being the awesome bro partnership where they're fighting, if anything, will just be, debating over how to do some kind of experiment or something.
Well, I mean, because of Mantle, right, we know that there is the option to just be like, nope, I give up, right? Like, I forfeit. And that is legitimate, right?
Yes, but that might not make Ruri like Chrome though. That's my thing. Is that
I see.
In order to make it,
Senku's got to wingman him a bit too.
Right, exactly. Senku has to maybe, if anything, actually make it extra convincing. Then
right.
Well, so that's either the way it's going to go. Is that Senku's going to make it extra convincing, be like, ugh, just stay down, and Chrome's like, no, I have to do it for Ruri.
You could say that realistically, in a lot of these kinds of situations, like for instance, Magma and the other guy, the guy that Ginro fought, right? Now, Magma was still the one that was most likely going to win, and probably would have beaten that guy, right?
Sure.
But can you imagine in this setting with no hospitals or things like that, right? You have two people that maybe one's better than the other, bigger than the other, but two people that are both very strong and whatnot beat the shit out of each other, right? And then one of them wins. I'm not sure how romantic and awesome that would look either way, because imagine if he's got a face like Ginro's where it's just warts and just swollen all the heck, and it's just
it's not like he's marrying her in the 2 seconds after happens.
Right, yeah, I guess that's true. And yeah.
And also, even though she might know stories and stuff. Like she knows like things or what have you about the past, aka the present.
Right.
I mean, they're in a pretty simple society as far as things go. So the things that make you attractive were already spelled out by the 3 different girls.
Food, strength, and
then looks. Like,
right. Yep. Or in the case of Senku, the ability to pump a lot of air into the furnace. But
oh my god. There were a lot of really funny details in this episode. There was Ginro having his moment of JoJo posing with like
all the
hulked out muscles, and then the difference between reality and what he sees himself as. Oh my god.
That was wonderful.
I am so happy that they gave us that and then made the distinction because yeah, I would have accepted just the hulked out thing for dramatic representation.
Right.
But the thing of no. This is how he sees himself.
Right.
I'm like, our boy's so confident because he got souped up on caffeine. Yeah. It's like growth in some ways, right?
And Senku bringing up that like he hasn't had caffeine before, so he's probably wired like crazy right now. Right. And like when he takes all the hits and it's the smoke and he's like, ugh, that you'll have to do better than that. And it's like, wait for it.
And you called it so fast. That was so good.
And he like can't even speak. and like all the other girls, you know, with like his imagination, it's like, oh my god, yeah.
And then she's like,
oh no. That was wonderful.
But then the fact that when he like beats him, the other guys just turned off by the confidence and the fact that he keeps coming, and they just kind of thunk, and just.
Now, one of the things that I would
it's perfect.
Now this isn't the kind of show that it is, so I get that they didn't do that, right? You know, but that would have been really interesting if Senku had been like, pushed him off of that. Not a good idea. Pushed Magma off too. All right. How far down is that? Ooh, probably about 60 feet. Yeah, they're dead. Like, you know, like all the other people think like, yes, we defeated them in the like, you know, non-lethal way. And Senku's just like, no, they're paced. Like,
Senku actually might make a point of it. Yeah, he could say something even darker. He's like, actually, based on the speed at which they hit the water, they're probably each like have got broken bones and they're drowning right now.
Yeah, right. They broke half their rib cages and a couple of their limbs, and now they're
unable to swim. So
they're unable to swim,
slowly just drowning.
Yep,
and no one's gonna hear their screams either.
Yeah. And theoretically, they don't have to bring that up. They could just have Magma like never come back,
or maybe Magma comes back because he's a freak of nature. But the other guy whose name I already forgot,
right, he's just gone. Like
he's just gone.
He's just gone. Like, and maybe even if Magma comes back, like, okay, you break bones in this world, like you don't come back from that.
No.
Like I suppose someone could make a splint for you, I guess.
Sure,
but like,
sure.
But you know, if you can't hunt, like, you know.
No, but that seems like something that people would kind of understand.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Pretty, I would say, without much crazy critical thinking ability. The idea that
this is disconnected. Let's
try and duct tape it, basically the equivalent of it. But we don't have something like that, so we take
a bamboo rod.
And just kind of wrap it up a bunch. And it doesn't do much, but it's like,
But like, you know,
if it's a hairline fracture, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Then maybe it's not the end of the world. But like, if it's actually like seriously broken,
right,
you know, it's like, good job being a hunter-gatherer still. Like,
right.
That's not happening.
Definitely not. Okay, so other really funny moment is Senku literally big-braining the math as to how much time it would need to take there. I actually really like that because the math is probably right, which means that someone had to do that. And they actually ran the risk of basically having people go and proof, you know, check the work and see if it actually is legit.
Right.
And it's like, you know, there you go. Well, if you're going to have, you know, moments of kind of the typical shonen stuff of internal monologuing and like, if he does this, then I'm going to have to do this. But no, his power levels and stuff. This, it's like, we're going to have a science shonen. Come on.
Yeah,
I absolutely respect that.
This was so JoJo's in the best way, and I loved it. Of like this, we're going to figure out the exact thing that we need to do.
Exactly,
even
60 seconds.
Right, exactly 60 seconds. Even though he doesn't know, like, I don't know how many drops like of liquid actually went onto the thing, because like, what is it? You can fit like 19 drops of water on like a penny or something like that, right?
Who knows?
You know, because of like surface tension and everything.
I think he's assuming that it actually is the
like filled up to the maximum amount or whatever.
Well, right, because the other water wouldn't be relevant. Like after a certain point, if it fills so high that the rest of it comes up there.
Well, not necessarily
the skin of a watermelon, so it would absorb the water.
No, not that it fills up so much. No, I'm talking about the lens. Like depending on how much water's in there, that'll change the actual curvature of the lens that you're creating with the liquid.
Right, and I'm saying that if it comes to the edge of the lens, it just spills off and absorbs into the watermelon skin. So if anything,
okay, he could assume that it was at the max because at some point any extra would be lost.
Right.
But and granted, he acknowledged the whole idea of okay, this is under ideal circumstances, so this really like the likelihood of this working is still kind of impossible, right?
And there's ranges that you could assume based off of the math, meaning that it has to be 60 seconds. It could be less. But it needs to be 60 seconds for sure.
Sure.
But what happened?
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that they did this, and because of how well and accurate everything else seems to be, the math is probably legit. Which just that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's just cool. So props to the mangaka or whoever did the math. I'm impressed by that.
Yeah.
We had also a very wholesome little moment with Kohaku realizing that she's just really happy that Suika is okay.
Yep.
And in some ways that is something where, it's making the best out of the situation despite her potentially going to have to give up her sister to that monster. But she doesn't want Suika to worry about it.
That's
right. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be daijoubu.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Asagiri again coming back and his acting.
Oh, that was just
that.
I mean, what more can you say? It's wonderful.
I love his character,
and also this is something that I'm very excited about. If he's back now, that means making the cola is not far off.
Is very.
And I'm really excited to see how they do that because I feel like the sulfa, like it's like okay, yes, right, having an antibiotic that's super important, right?
Well, yeah, it gets them ruri.
Definitely. But with an antibiotic, that's something that like we don't usually think about a lot in our daily life. Whereas something like a bottle of cola, right? Something that's a lot more like common for people to think about.
Okay.
And the idea of how complicated it is to make something like that. So I'm really excited to see how they go.
The assumed complication within the antibiotic as opposed to the cola. Like, I would assume, if anything, I don't know how they're going to make the cola taste good.
Oh, I don't either. And given that Asagiri Gen actually knows what it's supposed to taste like, it's probably going to be something similar to Senku with the ramen, right?
Right. But literally, it's like a hidden secret as to how to actually make Coca-Cola. Now, there's probably other knockoff versions that come kind of close, which is more or less what he's actually going to make.
Big K or something like that.
Who knows?
Right?
Yeah.
But still, the idea that I would really love to see if they end up going into the same level of detail with the cola as they have with the antibiotic.
Oh, they definitely will.
And I'm really excited to see that because it's going to be cool.
Not this kind of science roadmap detail, but definitely like in an episode, I would say.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's effectively the end of the tournament arc. Now,
but it's not over until it's
actually over. Mm-hmm. So, Ginro is out. There's no way he's going to compete or win.
Yeah.
So, 50-50?
60-40?
What do you want to take the odds to here?
I'll say 60%. I'll say 74% Chrome.
Okay. I will go a little bit lower, and I'll go about like 60% Chrome.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I think is important here is that we, like you were mentioning this, we haven't actually seen Senku try, right? And one of the ways that they could do this is that he never needs to try, right? Because it gets to the point where it's up against Chrome, and he's like, yep, yeah, you got
it.
Right. You
But what was his plan just in case?
Right, but what was his plan just in case? And that's how they can avoid because like a lot of times tournament arcs, it's sort of the who would win in a fight thing. You can can see that that whole thing play out. But because Senku never actually has to try, we never have to actually address that question, right? You know, we can just sort of, you know, let it be known that like they ask him afterwards, like, what were you going to do if you were up against Magma? And it's like, oh, I had, you know, like, I was going to throw sulfuric acid on him or something like that, right? Like,
well, no, that was all the stuff in his pants. Remember when he draws them? He's like, God damn it. And
right.
He was going to have like 1 or 3 of those things be used.
Yeah.
And everyone else is going to be like, oh, that's not allowed. And he's like, everyone else brought weapons.
Yeah. I mean, this is my weapon. Yeah.
This is my weapon.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, so the reason why I want to put mine lower, though, is because the reason why Chrome is doing this specifically is to make the drug so that they can save Ruri,
right?
So that he can be with her. Now, it is primarily to save her. He is not so selfish, by which that he needs to have things go a certain way.
Yep, absolutely.
However, they set up something with Ruri that might be actually some kind of a potential connection point for Ruri and Senku, in that Ruri knew of Senku's name and potentially also his last name.
Right.
Which that in of itself is its own thing.
Yep.
I think if Senku wins, it's going to be on the basis of him gathering and conquering the village, basically. But he could set it up to where Chrome and Ruri still end up together.
Yeah, okay. The biggest reason...
The win-win, basically. Because I don't know if Chrome would want to be chief. However, he does kind of make the most sense to be chief based on that,
The biggest reason where I could see Chrome losing is actually if he basically gets to the end and he concedes to Senku, because he's like, it's the same either way, and quite frankly, you know, Ruri, I want to win you on my own. Not just because I won some tournament where you have to accept me.
Yeah.
I want to win you legit, right? I want you to choose me, right? That's where I could mainly see that happening. Right?
That would be really cool. It also fits a little bit of the bill of, wait, are we going to have our shonen characters marry?
Actually get married in the show?
Story?
Yeah.
Like, this is like the very beginning of the story. Like, there's like nothing that's happened story-wise as far as like grand story kind of stuff.
Right. Like how do you deal with the fact of like, oh yeah, consummating the marriage, for instance, among our high school aged kids, but then also the interacting with all the other characters where
they
it's
could
like
totally do it though, Jake.
Oh, I know.
They go the whole science angle from it and basically just have a moment where it's like they just leave and go into a room or what have you, a big tent or something.
And then later Chrome's just like, oh.
Chrome's just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then Senku's just like, haha, so you've experienced that which is the greatest pleasure outside of eating a really good ramen. But and then Gen's like, or like drinking from a cold glass of cola or something like that. And then they get into the whole thing and it's just this awkward, hilarious conversation.
Man, they could totally do that. Yeah.
But I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
And that's why that's another good thing to bring up. That's actually another big reason as to why I think there's a possibility of Senku winning on the grounds that,
because he won't want to marry Ruri. Like,
no, he does want to marry Ruri, but like having it be like an arranged like contract.
No, I'm talking about Senku.
Right. Yeah, no, Senku, of course. No.
Like he won't care, right?
No. Yeah. But I'm talking about Chrome specifically. Right, because Chrome is the character going on the arc here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the precedent for this has already been set by Taiju and Yuzuriha, because Taiju specifically said, don't answer me yet because of the stress and the pressure of everything that we're in right now. I'm, when it's a good time for you.
It's a good time.
Right. So that's already kind of there for Chrome and Ruri.
And also leaves more triangle potential stuff.
Oh, definitely. Kohaku is very much here. Yeah. Yep.
So there we go, y'all. That was an episode and the finale to the tournament arc next week, and apparently also potentially the cure-all drug based on the episode title that they teased there. So,
and maybe the cola.
Oh, yes, the cola as well. Don't forget about the cola. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep, I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines. It's awesome, and it's on Amazon. Link in the description below. Check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.